So, welcome back to the last session for my How to Build a Stronger Reader Today mini series. I'm so grateful and thankful that you've taken time to spend a little time with me and listening to me ramble about reading and writing and literacy and all the things that I have a passion for and love and have been enjoying doing for the last 20 plus years as an educator. So this is the last tip that I will provide for you. Um, I am Chantel Modeste once again. I am a former classroom teacher and now turned tutoring business owner. And um, I've recently launched my Ivy Leagueish Reading Academy program. And so I hope that these tips that you've listened to and hopefully you've applied and tried some of them with your children. I hope they've been fruitful for you and have been useful for you. So let's just dive into tip number 5, the last tip for today, for this course. So tip number 5, I wanted to end with this tip. This is really important. It's not necessarily a literacy tip, but more so a behavioral, a tip just in general for learning. So this tip is known as the I do, we do, you do model. And it's a fancy word that's used in literacy research known as the gradual release of responsibility. So I want you to think about how if you're teaching your daughter or son how to wash clothes or cook or cleaning around the house or whatever it is it might be that you're teaching and training your child to do. I'm sure that you show them what to do. You kind of illustrate and demonstrate for them what to do. And then you possibly might do it with them together. And then, then you just kind of let them do it on their own the next time. So this is in keeping in line with learning. So as a parent, I want you to think about all of these things that I've talked to you about during this little mini series about how to grow a stronger and more confident reader. It's important that we as parents, and we do this in the classroom as educators, and I do it all the time, the I do part of this, that we show them what we are expecting them to do, as if you were training them to wash clothes. You show them how to sort out the whites versus the colors versus the blacks, or however you sort your clothes. And then, you possibly may do it with them. Okay, you show them how to do it and then you do it with them. And then you eventually you release them slowly to do this on their own. And that's when you can kind of sit back and see maybe where you've maybe miscommunicated something they didn't get it, or it's a chance for them to demonstrate to you that they've learned what it is you taught them. So this is in line with teaching in general. This is what we do. It's what I do as an educator. I show them what I want them to do. I do it with them, and then I let them do it on their own. I sit back and I try to figure out, did they get what I was teaching them? So this is important with all of these tips that I've talked about. Annotating, learning new vocabulary words, the reading process, things you should do before, doing, and after reading. It's important that you keep in mind that you do these things for them. And so this is why I created this course. I want you to kind of understand it more. And I know some of this may be complicated. Think, oh, I'm not a teacher. But just do what you can do to the best of your ability. Your child knows you as their mom. They're going to appreciate and love you for trying to do what you can at your skill level, because you are your child's first and greatest teacher anyway. And so this is an important tip that I thought it'd be great to kind of end the series with you understanding that all these things I've shared with you, I want you to consider you doing it first to model, demonstrate, and show your child. You doing it with them. They need that hand holding because they're still learning. Don't get frustrated because they're still learning. Their minds are still growing. And then you let them, just kind of do it on their own. And this is one of those other tips that, like I always say, it applies from K through 99, from our elementary, upper elementary, middle, junior, high school, college students. We all need to be shown what to do, whatever it is for the task at hand before us. So just a quick tip, the I do, we do, you do strategy, officially known as the gradual release of responsibility, to ensure that they really gotten a deep understanding of whatever it is, whether it's literacy or math or whatever subject it might be, that they've really understood what it is that you're training them to do. So I just want to say I'm so glad that all of you, whoever who's listening to my voice, took the time to stick through this course with me. It was short, it was brief, just a few tips. I want to make it short enough where you can stay engaged. I've been talking about engagement, but you as a parent stay engaged with how to help your child be a successful reader. Because I know as a parent, I want my child to be a successful reader and writer. And I know if you've taken the time and committed to learning more about reading, and if you're here watching this video, you want the same thing too. Okay, so there's just a few tips that was in this mini series, and I kind of wrote down some things that I did not and was not able to kind of go into detail with, and maybe in another mini course or another course that I will provide on my platform, maybe I'll discuss and share these things with you. But these are some other reading strategies and skills and to-dos for great readers that I kind of jotted down that I did not get a chance to go into detail about. Your students should be well versed in how to make inferences. Comprehension, that's a whole nother video and lesson, how to get our kids to comprehend. Learning parts of a story and how that helps them comprehend. The use of graphic organizers to help organize their thinking. A strategy called talk, read, talk, write. The importance of conversation in them learning how to read and conversating, them learning how to think of what to write on paper. A lot of times you ask kids to write, can you write a paragraph? And it's hard for them to do because there's nothing up there for them to write. Like, okay, write about what? But it's important to just talk about it, talk out loud what you're going to write, and then you tell, okay, write that, what you just told me. So that conversation piece is so important. Whether it's reading and writing, I know that you guys and ladies are doing all these things with your child. So that conversation and talking is a great bridge for them to be a better reader and writer. Another tip that I didn't go over, another element of reading, is how to read a nonfiction book versus a fictional book. The strategies and how to attack those two different types of reading is, there's difference. A different way to approach reading a fiction book. That's a story with characters and a plot and problem. And it's a totally different approach to when you read your nonfiction, when you're reading your social studies and your history and your science books for school and for learning. The importance of rereading to clear up and clarify any misunderstandings. Fluency, especially for younger elementary students, being able to read at an appropriate rate to prevent, a breakdown of what was read. And asking questions. I wrote that down. That's a really important strategy. How to ask questions and how that helps your reader become a better comprehender. Just asking questions. So if your child is asking questions a lot, and they're always talking, let me tell you this tip. They're on their way to being a great reader and writer and great student. Don't get frustrated with the questions because it means they're thinking. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I am opening my doors for my new course. In this course, I kind of mentioned it throughout the series. It will be a course designed for thinking middle school students and older. This is right around the time when students are not really pushed and required to read for fun anymore. They're not reading, they're reading for academic purposes, and they kind of lose their interest in reading. So I'm kind of worried about this chunk of students this age. So I thought I would create something for older students, up elementary, fifth grade and older, to help them reignite their love and passion for reading through great books that are diverse, multicultural in nature. It's a great way to get them outside of their own comfort zone. And so each month we'll read a book. We'll have assignments on a platform that they can use to follow through with the reading, assigned chapters. And so I will be inside coaching them through these tips and many more that I've mentioned here on this free mini series for you as parents. So if you're interested in that, all the information will be on my website at chantellemodesteliteracy.com, and I'll leave that information for you. You can easily click on that and see more information and details about that. And I would love for you to share this with any parent that you know that might have an older child that they want to, regain their passion for reading and literacy, especially during COVID right now, the way we're kind of doing school. You might not be doing as much reading right now. So I am offering this to you. And so I welcome any feedback, and I hope that you've learned a few more things about the process of reading, the value of literacy, and the great things that reading will offer your child. So thank you once again. I'm Chauntelle Modeste, and I look forward to hearing from you by email, or you can contact me on my website. And you have a wonderful day, and thank you for, following me in this journey of how to build a stronger reader today course. So thanks a lot, and you be blessed.